this is Joanna from Tarot with Joanna, here to do another reading. Hello, hello, hello. So Gemini, in today's reading, I'm going to give you two of the Denise Lynn Oracle cards, going to do your reading and then clarify it. So let us get started. Alright, Gemini, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Gemini for their highest good spirit. Two cards for Gemini for the highest good. This is nice. Very nice, you guys. Good for you. Alright, so you have overcoming obstacles. Okay, so this is good. You need this. Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. So just remember that. Good things are coming. You're overcoming the obstacles that's going on in your life. You also have navigating by the stars. Follow your bliss. Follow your happiness, you guys. Follow what makes you happy. Just follow your heart. All right, so let's do this. Good for you guys. Good. It seems like everybody's having a really good, all these readings, they may not be like perfectly 100% good, but they're getting there. Things are going to change for the better. Remember, all change is good. Change is good for everyone. Okay, here we go. All right, Gemini, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Gemini. One card, okay, for the current, one for the situation, one for the past, one for what's hidden, one for the hopes and fears, one for what you need to do now, what you need to work on, and the outcome. Wow, very nice. Alright, so there is a lot here. So you start off with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands says that you're making some kind of plans. I feel like you're making plans. I feel like you already know what you want, and I feel like there's just a decision that you're trying to contemplate. There is definitely some kind of decision here. You have the Seven of Swords here. The Seven of Swords is about, it's a card of deceit, yes, but it's also being quiet about something. I feel like you're being very quiet about the things that are going on in your life, trying to just like be quiet about something. And with the Knight of Pentacles here, I feel like you need to have patience. I feel like really nothing is moving right now, or maybe it was in the past, because it is in the past. I feel like you needed your patience, but I also feel like you're like at a standstill. I really feel like this is past tense, so really know that, okay? Which is good because things are now moving. With the Hierophant here, I feel like you've been praying a lot. And I feel like you're looking for your answers. Definitely asking God for answers, so it's nice. And then for the Ten of Pentacles down here, I feel like you're trying to establish what you want. You're trying to establish something to create what you want to create. So let's see what they say in these cards, okay? And then you have for what you need to do now is you really need to start resting. You really need to take it easy and start resting yourself. You have the Five of Swords here for what you need to work on, and the Five of Swords is saying that you're still frustrated, you still have a lot of tension, you still have a lot of anger holding on to. Wow. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is about, trying to figure out what you want with your next. Like, what are you trying to do with your money? What do you want to do now? What is it that you want to create with it? What is it that you want to do with it? Maybe you're thinking about your finances, about how you're going to spend it. Maybe you're reviewing everything. But just know that after your efforts, all the hard work that you've been putting in, it's going to pay off, okay? So just know that. Let's see what the cards say when we clarify the cards. All right, Gemini, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Gemini. Gemini. Here we go. The Two of Wands. Why is the Two of Wands here for Gemini? Wow. Okay, so you did come into your own reading. You have the Lover's card here. You lover. All right, so you have the Two of Wands, the Two of Cups also, and you have the Lovers. So, you've been making plans, and I feel like you're keeping them to yourself. I feel like there is a decision that you're contemplating, but you're definitely making plans. With the Two of Wands, I feel like you need to have some kind of patience, and it's good that you do find your patience. With the Two of Cups here, I feel like you have a good connection with someone, because you not only have the Two of Cups, but you have the Lovers card here. I feel like you have a union together, like there's just a good get along here. But with the Two of Cups, I feel like there could be some kind of offer coming in for you. I feel like you're still trying to make a decision. And I feel like you really need to start trusting your higher self. Like, not not just yourself, but like trust your intuition is what I mean when I say, trust your higher self, okay? And your decisions. But I do feel like there is a decision that you're going to definitely make very soon. And with the Lovers card here, I feel like you need to trust the process and everything that's going on. Just trust the process and really have good communication with the people around you, your significant other, whatever. Have communication with them. Like, speak up about what's going on. Don't just, think that they know. They don't know until you say it, okay? So just know that. You have the Seven of Swords, and why is the Seven of Swords here for Gemini? Oh, wow. Okay. Good. Something is being... You have the Ten of Swords here with the with the Seven of Swords. So, with the Ten of Swords here, I feel like, I'm sorry, you guys. That's my phone. So sorry about that. Okay. So with the Seven of Swords, I feel like you're keeping something to yourself, like not saying something. With the Ten of Swords, I feel like something has come to an end. Something came to an end, whether it was a situation, an obstacle, whatever it was something painful that, you were going through. But remember, we were all going through this healing. We're all going through this transformation, and some of us are still going through it, so just know that. And I feel like there was some kind of something that came to an end. Even if it was painful, something did come to an end. Okay, and it did hurt you, and it made you feel emotional. Something did come to an end, so just know that. But with that Ten of Swords, it always goes back to one, so that's also good. They want you to go within, try to go within and really clear your mind about things, so that way you can make good decisions. That way you can really see things clearly. The Hermit card is here, and he's saying, you're very wise. You know what to do. You really do. The Hermit, he reads books. He looks at everything, and he's just very wise. He holds this lantern because he can see things the way they are, and you can see them too, but there's sometimes you just don't want to see them, Gemini. So they're asking you to really clear your mind, okay? Clear your mind before you speak. Clear your mind before you do anything, okay? Because it's like they want you to just see things clearly. Wow. All right, so that's very nice. So let's see what okay, so you have the Knight of Pentacles here. All right, Gemini. So for the Knight of Pentacles here in the past, I feel like you felt like everything was at a standstill. I feel like you needed your patience also. I felt like in the past there was like nothing moving forward. That's how you felt. So we're gonna keep that on the in the past, okay? And also remember that you're working hard, and you've been working hard, and remember that everything's going to get better, and it shows here that it is. But there's just a few things that that's still lingering around. You have the Hierophant here, and why is the Hierophant here? One more card. Wow, nice. All right, so you also have the As Above, which is very nice, and you can see it. There it goes. The As Above, and then you have the King of Wands, and then you have the Hierophant. With the King of Wands, I'm sorry, with the King of Wands, I feel like you really need to start taking care of all these situations that are going on in your life, especially like the ones that you're dealing with. Really try to take a hold of that, okay? Because you have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is saying that you've been turning to God, asking for answers, praying more, asking Him to do this and to do that, and it's good because you are very divinely guided, Gemini. You are. I feel like He's watching over you. And as the above card here, the above, it says that you're using your intuition, you're trusting it, and it's good. That's very nice. That no matter how or what you're going through, really, really follow your heart and really trust your intuition, okay? And then with the King of Wands, like I said, you're an entrepreneur. Try to create something that's gonna build what you want. But they're also asking you to really start getting everything in order, because you're a king. You betray a king, whether you're male or female, you betray that king, okay? And the king, he doesn't let no loose ends around. He takes care of all situations. He says, you know what, I'm gonna go deal with this so that I can go and have this, so that I can move on from this, and that's the way you're supposed to see things. That's the way you're supposed to do, and that's what spirit guides are trying to tell you. And I also feel like you're an entrepreneur, and that you are going to come up with ideas to try to make money, so that you can create what you want. Wow. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles here. And why is the 10 of Pentacles here for the hopes and fears? One more card. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, so you do have the 10 of Pentacles here. And with the 10 of Pentacles here, I feel like you're trying to establish what you want to create. And that's having the abundance, having the the money for everything that you want. I feel like there is a new cycle coming in for you. I feel like the world is turning, and there's a new chapter coming through for you, so it's good. This is all leading to new things, so there's a lot of change coming in for you. And then I also feel like the Emperor, be like the Emperor, be like him. This Emperor, he wears a gown over his armor suit, because he sits there because he's ready for anything that comes his way. He jumps at it. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna let them do this. I'm not gonna let them do that to me. I'm the leader. I'm gonna be who I need to be. And that's you. Okay, so step back into your power. Be the leader that you are. You're very wise. You're very smart. You created what you need. You created. You have a perfect job. You have, a family. So step back into your power and do what you need to do. I also feel like you're going to be able to make new decisions. I feel like you're going to have that wisdom. I feel like you're going to be able to handle things more clearer now, which is very nice. You have the 4 of Swords here for what you need to work on. And why is the 4 of Swords here? Wow, one more card. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Okay, this is a message for somebody out there, okay? So, if you feel like you're in a situation, they're asking you to pray, okay? Pray. You have the 4 of the Hierophant, and then they're at the 4 of Swords. Like, if you see him, he's laying on his bed, and he looks like he has his hands up, right? Because he's asking, praying God, help me with the situation that's going on. Help me with whatever it is, that you have on your mind, and he is, and they're asking you, maybe you should pray a little bit more. But for everybody else, I feel like the Hierophant, that you are very divinely guided. I feel like you are going to see the answers that you need, that you will. But the thing is that you're very, very tired. You're very overwhelmed. You have a lot on your mind. You're constantly thinking about this. You're constantly trying to do that, and it clutters the mind, and you really need to take it easy, because right now you have the 4 of Swords in one deck, and then you have the 4 of Swords with the first deck. It's in the same position, 2 different decks, same card. When you get this card like that, when you get any particular card and it's the same one, from two different decks in the same position, they're telling you this is what you need to do, and that's you need to clear your mind. You need to rest. You need to start taking it easy. You need to start not doing everything. You need to take a break because it's time. Okay, because it's not going to do you any good if you keep pushing yourself, and you're very overwhelmed, and you're very tired, and you're very you can't think straight. Oh, you can't. You're cluttered with all these emotions. Everything's going on. You can't think straight. So they want you to rest. If you feel tired, take a nap. If you feel tired, rest. You don't have to do everything in one day. You don't have to do everything in just, in that hour. Rest. Get off the phone. Get off the TV. Whatever it is, start resting because it's vital. Remember what I say. When you don't rest, when the universe sees that you're not resting, they have a way of making you rest. So just know that, okay? Because they do that. It's like they have your back, but they want you to rest, and you need to do it. And then you have the Five of Swords here. And why is the Five of Swords here? One more card. Wow. So, alright, so you have the Five of Swords here. You start off with, maybe you're still having that frustration. Maybe you still have a little bit of anger. Maybe you just have tension, frustration within you. Remember, just leave it behind. Let it go, okay? And I feel also, too, for some of you guys that I feel like, the reason you have it, this frustration, I feel because you want everything all at once. And I feel like you can't, okay? I'm going to tell you straight out, you can't. Okay, because the spirit guides are telling you, no, you can't. It doesn't happen that way. It's gonna take time. Things are going to change, yes, but they're gonna take time. And what you need to do is take care of all these loose ends. Like, take care of all these situations that you're dealing with. All this frustration, this anger, you need to let it go. You need to start resting. You need to start praying. You need to, start going within, going outside, taking some time for yourself. You really need to, because it's a lot here. Things are going to move, but you need to also do all this work. It's just not going to come out and fall out of the sky. You need to start doing the work. You have the Justice card here, and if you're dealing with any legally matters, it's going to be in your favor. You're going to be making fair decisions. They're going to be making fair decisions of you. They're asking you to try to balance everything. Your friends, your family, your significant other, whatever. You need to try to balance everything, okay? Because it's just, you get very frustrated. You get very angry. You may not say nothing. You may be quiet about it and not say nothing, but it gets you frustrated. It gets you angry. And you really need to try to balance things out. With the Three of Cups you have here, I feel like there is a lot of support around you. You have support from your friends, your family, a lot of support. I also feel like you're moving towards some kind of celebration, so it's nice, I feel like there's a celebration here, a get together or something like that is here. So, very interesting. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles. And why is the Seven of Pentacles here? Wow, one more card. Alright, so you do have the Knight of Wands here. Okay, so there's something here about for some of you guys. I feel like, I don't know who this message is for, but it's a message for somebody. I feel like you are going to leave some kind of relationship behind for somebody. And I feel like you're tired. You're just tired and overwhelmed. You're either leaving it or it's just going to be done and over with. There's something here about that. So it's like you're really leaving something. I feel like you need to trust your intuition and follow your heart. Like if it's telling you to leave, then you need to leave it. If it's telling you that it's not right that you're going through all this, it's time to go, then it's time, okay? But with the Knight of Cups, I also feel for everybody else, I feel like you really need to trust your intuition. I feel like you need to follow your heart. Really follow your heart. Like in what you're trying to create and what you want trying to do. Really follow your heart, because you're in your mind a lot, and it's here. Like you're trying to figure out things like your finances, your next move. And I feel like you need to follow your heart. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to your intuition. Because it's there. I also feel like with the Six of Swords, I feel like there's something here that you're definitely leaving behind, because there's an ending here. There's some kind of ending that's going to come through. And whether it's a painful ending or not, you're still going to leave it behind. And I feel like you really need to, just do that, leave it behind, because it's probably not going to be no good for you. And I feel like any situation or obstacle that you were dealing with, I feel like it's finally you're gonna get to a better place. Like things are gonna calm down to be better. So just know that. Wow. I also feel for a lot of you guys, you could be moving. Also, you could be looking and moving to get something for yourself or whatever. But I feel like it could be moving. Also, traveling. A lot of people are going to be traveling through boat, also like taking a cruise or something. I feel that's here also. But there is a lot of things coming in, so just be ready, because there is going to be a lot of change. There's a decision you're trying to make. You have plans. You got to rest. You got to do a lot of things here, but just really take care of yourself, because you need to start thinking clearly, Gemini. All right, Gemini. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. God bless.